My friends at WOBI asked me to take a couple of minutes on this topic of creating focus in the middle of a crisis. And this is a huge issue right now, and one I've been thinking a lot about lately. But even as you say those words, something doesn't sound right about that. Creating focus in the middle of a crisis. If there's one time I ought to be able to get focus, it's in a crisis. The term burning platform, that's what it means, right? A burning platform is an event that drives focused activity. That's the definition of a burning platform. So why, in the middle of this global crisis, where every organization has to pivot or change, and it's critical, the feeling is not focused action. The feeling is more like paralysis. All right, there's a great story that I think really sheds some light on what a lot of us are experiencing right now. In 1906 in San Francisco, there was a horrific earthquake. And after that event, two things happened. Divorce rates went way up and marriage rates went way up. And for decades, sociologists debated whether these type of events, these crises brought people together or drove them apart. But it turned out that neither was true. That what had actually happened was that they couldn't take any more ambiguity. They couldn't take any more uncertainty. So much of their lives had been thrown into complete chaos. They couldn't handle one more unanswered question. If they were thinking about getting married, they did it, right? They were in or they were out. They were thinking about getting divorced, right? Now, think about what's happening right now. Think about the massive amount of ambiguity that people are experiencing in their lives. One of the things that we've learned about ambiguity is that it doesn't matter where it's coming from. It's a little bit like carbon monoxide poisoning. You can only take so much. As each organization has to pivot, has to make a move. I'm not talking about life support stuff, crisis management. That's happened. I'm talking about as we're coming out of this, right? All the things that we need to do so that we're not caught flat-footed. Those new goals, those new priorities, those initiate things that inherently only increase ambiguity, right? Those new objectives, those new projects, is this really what we ought to be working on? Or should we be working on this? And what are the steps that I need to follow? And as soon as we start to do that, we start putting additional ambiguity on top of people, additional uncertainty on top of people that in many cases are already tapped out. So here's what I want you to think about. What if the new goal, what if the new priority did not increase ambiguity? What if the new goal, what if the new priority felt like a little slice of sanity in their lives? What if it felt like the one thing that actually made sense and where they were actually, right, having an impact? Do this for me. Go to a time, and really do this. Go to a time in your career when you were most engaged, when you were most bought in, right, professionally. And think about that moment. And I'll promise you there were two things that were going on. First, you were making progress. You were winning. And second, it mattered. There was purpose. It's always those two things. And when it comes to human engagement, it's only those two things. Am I making progress? Does it matter? So here's the question. Right now, in the middle of all of this crazy, do the people who work for me feel like they are winning at something that really matters?